All right, thanks to my subscriber that said, can you tell me how you remain in happiness, share more of your situations, and how you handle these situations to stay in that high frequency. And I want to share that with you. Are you happy? Do you know there is a secret to happiness? It's not so secret, I'm going to tell you right now. So let's go into happiness, because if you do just these few things, you will find yourself going into happiness. And everybody should live that way. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fear and live an amazing life. No, this is not a spiritual butt kick today. No, it's a happy conversation. So I've had several people ask me, like, you seem very happy. And the answer is yes. And so I've actually had discussions with students about this, one in particular who is asking me about happiness in the material world and why is that wrong? And I'm saying it's not wrong. But I want to share something with you. The key to true happiness is not relying on the material world to make you happy. How many times have we gotten things and we're happy? When I get the house, I'll be happy. When I get the relationship, when I get the job, I'll be happy. And then you get it and you go, you know what? How come I'm not happy? Because that's not the root of happiness. Happiness starts in here, and there's a story. You have got to stick to a story that you know you are creating by believing this. And my belief is there are no problems. There are only solutions. There are only challenges for evolution. There are only opportunities for me. And I am so grateful for everything I have here. We're always looking to that future. What's in the future? When am I going to get here? When I have the body? When I have the relationship? All of that stuff. And then it never works. And we have spent centuries doing that on the emotional roller coaster of the outside world, which is actually what we are creating. So if you know you're creating that outside world out there, what must you do, right? If you truly want to be happy, you got to change that story. Yeah, you got to change the story. And when things happen, you got to change your story about the thing that's happening. All right? And this is critical. So no matter what happens in my life, I actually have to take a step back and look at it and say, all right, here's a situation without evaluation of going into a negative space. Here's the situation, and if it's not what I desire, what's the solution? Well, I'm focused on the solution and envisioning that which I desire and knowing that I participate in it. Now, if you're in my Manifest Anything series, I have a new series coming out, and I'm going to put everybody back into the start. And I actually, the first video is like 16 minutes about this. You can't look at something that you desire if you're not participating in it. There's a car that I desire. You got to see yourself in the car driving it. You got to smell the leather seats, vegan leather, of course, and all the other things about that car. And so you have to go into this space where there is always creation going on. There's always a new reality. There's always a new choice. And I'm in charge of that. So when you go into unhappiness, you will know immediately that you are in ego low density. Why? Because you're looking for the outside world to make you happy. And when it doesn't, you go into a lower frequency and unhappiness. You're expecting that to provide something for you, which you have right here. Because even when you go through the challenges, you can change the story and happiness shows up. Now, I gave you a few examples, and I'll give a couple right now. And that is, if you don't get what you desire, all things are possible. So maybe it's not that very thing that you desire that's going to show up. Maybe it's going to be something else better that you didn't imagine because you didn't even know that other thing existed. So by not getting this thing over here, the job or whatever it is, this other thing shows up. I'm in a vacation condo, as you can see right now. This is not my usual digs that I had in Atlanta. And so I'm getting ready to go into my own place. But it's tough to find real estate here. Holy cow, it's like gone the minute it goes on the market. Well, of course, I see this place come in the market, and I call, and it's gone already. And I walked over by it. It's walkable from my condo here. And I walked, and I was on the Bay Bridge, and I was looking at it, and I said, I see myself in there. And so I wasn't attached to it. I just saw myself in there. And it was a really happy, good feeling. And I thought, that's my condo. Now, you have to be careful with that, because if you're doing it like, I have to have that condo, you're going into lack. That is lack. You're unhappy. I'm unhappy. I don't have it. I want to get it. I don't go into that space because I know that's my condo. I felt it. So I was already picking up on that. But what I knew is, now I know what I desire. Now I know what felt great, because I looked at a couple other places and I thought, didn't feel quite right. There was that, you know how you go in, it just doesn't feel right, like everything looks great. Ever been in a relationship? He's the perfect person. He's a perfect guy. And you're going, not for me. Everybody thinks you're crazy. Same thing with a space. And this is why it's so important to go with your heart and pick up on the energy fields. How does it feel? How does relationships, the jobs, why does this job, I thought I wanted it, why is it not feeling right? Because there is something else better. And so I have to let go and not be attached to anything, because you can be happy all the time, and when you're not expecting something else, there's no thing that's going to take you into a space of lack or I don't have, because you always think you have. And that's happiness. And so you're in a space of happiness already, so everything else is like this mega, super great addition and celebration of the material world. It's fun to explore the material world and have things and share things and give things and receive things. It's fun, right? We don't have that on the other side. I saw myself in that condo and I just said, that's my condo. So when I came back to this condo here, I contacted the real estate agent and I said, I just want to let you know that that is an ideal condo for me. And so please, if anything else comes up, contact me immediately. I will be there. And he emailed back and said, well, you're in luck because it is available. The person who wanted it, who committed to it, didn't show. My hope was that she found something better. And so we want to go into a space of have and giving and higher and better and sharing, because you're already happy, so you're not needing anything. If I don't get it, I'm not going to be happy. I hope that that person loses their job so I can have it. No, it's like, I hope they get promoted so that I can step into that job that I think is ideal, or maybe it's another job that's even better. So happiness for me is, let's say, going into challenges, is to say, okay, what am I going to do with this without going into the emotional state, the emotional roller coaster? And that's why the high frequency, when you go in an awakened state, your emotions are like this. When you're not in an awakened state, they're like this. I have the thing. I don't have the thing. I have the relationship. I don't have the relationship. And that is not a pleasant place to be. Happiness is when you go in and you have, and you accept. Acceptance is a huge one for happiness. Acceptance is, okay, this is a challenge. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to remove my emotions, because that doesn't control my happiness, but I can change my reality so that it's more comfortable, it's more pleasant, because that always feels better, right? But it doesn't control my happiness. So I'm a happy person, therefore my message to the universe is, I'm happy, and I always receive everything that I desire, everything. And guess what? I receive everything I desire. I mean, it's cray-cray, right? You guys have heard my stories, they're insane. Right? I told you, I pick up a lottery ticket in the street that's already scratched off. It's a winner. Somebody else would say, it's in the street and it's already scratched off. Obviously, it's a loser. No, when I pick it up, it's a winner. Why? Because I don't think there are limits to anything. But I don't have expectations. Right? I've learned that expectations, you can be greatly disappointed and unhappy when things don't come through the way you think they should. So that letting go, that total letting go and acceptance will take you in a state of peace. And when you have that state, of peace. You tell the universe, I'm happy. I'm okay, even though this is all happening out here. And you know what it gives you? It gives you more of what you think and feel. It gives you more happiness. So you're on the frequency of the things. It's not thinking and it's not separate from you. You're doing it. I'm happy, so therefore all these wonderful things come in. And so there's no other thought in there that I don't have, or, I need this to be happy. So you're telling the universe, of which you're creating everything in, that you don't have, and that you're unhappy unless you have certain material items in your life. So then you don't create those material things with that thought. You actually create this roller coaster. Does this make sense? So I could tell you 1,000,001 stories. Let's talk about relationships, because that's a big one right now. It's not easy when you lose friends that either don't want to be around you, or you realize they're probably not good for you. And so you might continue to hang out with them even though it just doesn't feel right. These are decisions you're going to have to start making. These things are not permanent. And make decisions not based on that roller coaster of they're not giving me what I need, and you didn't say the things I want you to, or you don't believe what I do. That is not a healthy relationship. That's the conflict that we go into with each other out there. But if you have a close friend or relative or something like that, there has to be an acceptance in that. You either accept the relationship as it is and you don't battle it, or you just give yourself some space, or sometimes you just walk away. Now, I recently had a relationship where somebody just, wanted to pick a fight with me, and I wouldn't do it because there was no problem. And whatever problem was in their head was made up, because we have to go past the space of what I want and attachment to how you act and behave, and say, if this is not what I desire, then I have to make my own decision and not put the blame on somebody else or expect them. And that's that expectations of act this way, think this way, do what I want. Somebody said, is it a low frequency to not wear this? And I said, no, that's not a low frequency. It is when you think everybody else shouldn't wear one, or somebody said, thinks everybody should wear one. Yeah, it's uncomfortable when you're in a space where you have these different ideas. Just keep your 6 feet, keep your 6 feet, or don't go in. You have to make decisions based on what it is you want to create, and have acceptance, and don't go into conflict with that. You'll be happy, because if you go in a space and you're wearing one and they aren't, you're not going to be stressing out. You're just going to say, I either don't come here until this whole thing's over. It's going to be a while, by the way. Stuff doesn't go away overnight. But, or I accept that they're going to do this, and we're all going to be happy and not just bitch each other out for stuff. It's just so stupid. That's total unhappiness out there in that. So can we just let go, make our own decisions, and know that if you see every opportunity, say, okay, here's the situation. What's a solution for here that, over here that I can work on to remedy this? And I'll learn from that. I obviously created this, so what am I going to learn so that this doesn't happen again, or I become a much greater person because of it. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Please share these, and of course, you guys know that I've got free videos for online training, business training. People are taking charge of their lives, and Manifest Anything down below in the description, or at landriaonkka.com. is a series where I talk about all of this. How do you stay in that high frequency state? How do you claim that actual power that you have out there? Total clarity is out, and the whole purpose of that course is to teach you that you do wield that power. It is in your control. It's totally in your control, and because everything you think and everything you do is completely your decision to make. And when you take responsibility for that, your life will change in amazing ways. And even in the worst of times, you'll find the humor in it. Right? You don't want to laugh at anybody. You just want to laugh at us as a species, because we can change anything. We really can. Let's raise the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time. You're whole and perfect. strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.